So I'm Jennifer Winter, owner of Pedicare Professional Foot Care Instruments based in beautiful British Columbia. And tonight I'm so excited for everyone to join us and for this one-time collaborative effort that we've put together with Pedicare, ToeFX, and Art Science of Burring. I'm going to do a very quick intro and then we're going to get into the meat of the presentation. I will come back a little bit later and dive into my side of the presentation. But to start things off, we're going to have Irit Van-Ham join us from ToeFX, and she's joined by Aviv Gilb as well. And they're both going to provide some information, Irit specifically about the ToeFX system and about, of course, why we're here, debriding, and how that debridement is used to maximize the treatment of fungal nails. So that's why everyone's excited and joining us here tonight. And then we also have a Krisztine Grad from the Art and Science of Burring. She's going to share her expertise here tonight as well. A quick wave from Krisztine. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Irit, and she is going to start off our webinar.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Let me just share my screen. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to talk about why onychomycosis is actually so challenging to treat. It's one of the most infection that I am aware of, that it's very, very challenging to treat. So just let me introduce myself for very shortly. So you may be wondering what brought me to this glamorous world of toenail fungus. I just love this area. I'm very passionate about helping people with their toenails. And my background is I have a PhD in pharmacology and toxicology. I worked for many years in the pharmaceutical field, and I worked as a toxicologist. And a couple of years ago, I was aware it brought to my attention that onychomycosis is a very prevalent infection and there is no good solution. However, I've realized that there is something that's called photodynamic therapy that works for other modalities, and I saw that it might work for toenail fungus as well. So basically, we took this knowledge, this science, and modified it to work best for toenail fungus. So I'm going to just dive in. And the purpose of all of us gathering today is to help patients that look like Roger. So let me just set the scene. So I'm sure that most of you had Rogers like that in your clinic. So he's 75 years old. He had onychomycosis for over 30 years. He's very frustrated because he tried everything on planet and nothing worked for him. He's frustrated, and you are, if you're a clinician, you're also frustrated because you had solutions before, but they weren't so great. So onychomycosis is a very, it affects millions of people around the world. It's affect between 10 to 20% of the general population. So if we are talking in Canada, between 3 to 6 million people have onychomycosis. Older people, seniors, it's about 1 to 2 people have toenail fungus, so it's 50 to 60% of seniors. Yes, it's associated with bad smell, it's often painful, it's highly contagious, it can migrate from people to people, from person to person, from toe to toe. It can cause, often it causes secondary bacterial infection. But the most concerns, and believe me, we did so many surveys, it's embarrassment. People are very embarrassed to have toenail fungus. They shy, they hide their toes, they don't show them in public, and they really want to get rid of it. So why you cannot just apply ointment and cure it. What's the reason? And the reason it's always, as a scientist, it's always about, there is always reason for everything, and it's often about science. So I just want to explain what's the structure of the building materials of the nail. So nail is built of protein, and proteins are normally huge molecules. And there is different type of proteins that serves a purpose to create structures, and they are keratin. In our case, it's the building blocks of the nail. There is silk, there is cellulose, so there are other type of protein, but all of them enables to create structure. And keratin specifically, it's a very strong and complex insoluble in water. And it's basically, it's not a live materials, but it serves a purpose. And it's creating hair, nails, feathers, horns, claws, and hooves. And it's very interesting because hair, for example, seems to be softer, but actually it's also very strong. And the purpose of us and other animals of having nails, for example, it's to protect the skin underneath from damage or stress. And for this reason, keratin is extremely insoluble in water and very, very hard. And it's actually among the toughest biological material that exists, that I'm aware of. So this is the nail structure. So just imagine that you would want to put a topical therapy. So this is what this molecule need to go through in order to get to the nail bed. So this is the drug. And normally drugs are mixed with a vehicle. So the purpose of the vehicle is to drag the drug through the nail plate into the nail bed. But think about this nail plate that's stuck in the middle. So it's this keratin molecule. It's 25 levels of layers of structure, 25, not 1 or 2, 25. They are very complex, connected to each other. And in between, there is something that's called disulfide. So it's also another bond that makes it very, very strong. There are pores in the nail, but the pores are extremely small. So most of the drugs work to kill a fungus, but they are too large and they just cannot penetrate the nail. Also, the keratin is it's insoluble in water, so you cannot put water on it and just make it go away. It's very, very resistant. So this is just explaining very basic explanation why it's so hard to get to the nail bed. However, the good news is that there are solutions. So in order to get to the nail bed, one should overcome the mechanical, the chemical, and the physical properties of the nail. So in order to make it work, you need to have 3 of them. So the mechanical way is to basically nail debridement. And this is Krisztine is going after to focus about that. This is we found in our studies that it's a very important component in order to get rid of the buildup of the fungus and the buildup of the keratin. And there is a chemical way to allow better penetration through the nail into the nail bed. And it's with solvents and other materials, vehicles that drag the molecule in. And there is laser therapy and photodynamic therapy. And actually in ToeFX, we have created a system that we call it photodynamic therapy. And we include all three elements. The mechanical, chemical, and physical properties are combined together to offer a very good solution to treat onychomycosis. And this is how it works. So in terms of the physical properties, we incorporated a photodisinfection. And the way it works, you basically combine a photosensitizer. So we have an innovative patent. We have a patent on that formula packaged in a one-time disposable pen. We have a light device, LED, not laser, in a very specific wavelength that works together with the photosensitizer, and there is oxygen. Oxygen is just everywhere. It's readily available oxygen. Once you combine them together, they create ROS, reactive oxygen, and this basically, it destroys the membrane of the cell and kills the fungus. And the mechanical way, as I said, it's nail abrasion, and I'm not going to talk about it now because Krisztine is going to emphasize about this much more. And the chemical aspect is a penetration enhancer, and you can see here in the image, this is a very specific and accurate microscope. So this is how it looks when you just put one drop of water. So you see the droplets, but the way we did it, the formula spreads and the surface tension is lower, and it allows a better penetration into the nail bed. This is how the technology looks in practice. It's very simple. It's the photosensitizer, the light, and this is how it looks in the clinic. We are class 2 medical device. We got our approval together with COVID in late 2020 after extensive clinical studies. And it's basically evolved, as I said before, from existing science of photodisinfection. We basically took the knowledge and modified it to work the best for onychomycosis. This is a summary of our recent clinical studies. So 97% of the patients responded to the study. We wanted to take mild to moderate cases, but because we did a study in the midst of COVID, and we couldn't be too selective, so we choose mainly severe cases. So all of the results work very good for even for severe patients that had long-lasting chronic onychomycosis. And 76% of the patient got excellent to very good results. Each time that I say it, I'm getting very excited because it's excellent news. Why are we different? So the efficacy is much better than what's exists in the market. And we didn't record any side effects, and we are in 130 clinics in Canada already, meaning that thousands of patients were treated. And also we constantly doing clinical studies. There is no known contraindication. It's very selective because the formula binds preliminary to fungal nails, and it doesn't affect normal cells. It's a very cost-effective technology, and everything is done for the patient. So the patient come to the clinic every 2 weeks. Everything is done for them, and they basically don't need to do anything at home. So the compliance is very high. Few case studies just to finish my part. So here it's on the severe side patient. We scored her. This is onychomycosis severe index. So 26, it means that it's severe. She's 49 years old. She had 80% in March 2020, And by June, it reduced to 30%. And then in September, it basically was 0. And then the diagnostic, the KOH, was also negative. This is another patient, so it's a moderate case. And after 3 months, it's reduced to almost nothing, and then it was eliminated completely. Reinfection is something that most companies do not talk about, but we know that the rates are very high. The relapse rates are estimated to be between 20 to 50% from various reasons, but we found a way to reduce it. So we did another study where we treated the patients 6 months, so every 2 weeks. And then we switched to maintenance, where we treated them between 6 to 8 weeks for a couple of times. And 86% of them didn't relapse. So meaning after 12 months, the fungus stayed in bay. And you can see here the results. Just to finish with on a positive note, after we talked so much about ugly, crumbly toenails. So this is Carrie. She always came to our clinic with every time wearing different mask. So this time she wore a funny face mask. So I asked her if we can take a picture. And she said, I'm so grateful and excited that I can see the white of my nails. She had fungus for 40 years. Can't remember when was the last time I did. I actually have toenails now. So she's 64 years old and she's totally happy. Thank you. Now I will give the podium to Chris to continue the presentation.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you all. Let me just first start out to welcome you all. And I'm just so excited to see so many registrations and so many participants today. And thank you. We are all thank you for your interest. My name is Krisztine Grad, and I'm a registered nurse. I've been practicing foot care for 17 years, and I'm the founder of the Art and Science of Burring. I've been teaching on the podiatry burrs and the high-speed vacuum integrated rotary files since 2014. I used to run workshops in several provinces across Canada, and I presented at conferences prior to the pandemic. During the pandemic, we switched to Zoom sessions, and I was teaching via Zoom. And if you haven't heard from me much in the last year or so, it's because I spent the majority of my time writing and publishing my online courses, my virtual courses. So many of you here have taken the level 1 course online or in person, and many of you have been waiting for the level 2 course to be released. And I just published the level 2 course in August. So both level 1 and level 2 courses are now available online. You can study at your own pace and at your own time. And I highly encourage you to stay behind at the end of this webinar if you're interested in these courses. And I will give you a little tour into my online training platform. And some good news, in the recent days, I have decided to reduce the price on my online courses. This was mainly due to the fact how tough times are getting right now for everyone. So I hope that you will find the new price on the burring courses much more affordable. And for those who have purchased the course recently, please send me an email and I will be more than happy to give you a price adjustment. Also, when you purchase a course, don't forget to send your receipt into the Nursing Education Initiative. It is an education grant program that supports nurses, and you may be eligible to up to $1,500 per year. So today we are talking about debridement, mycotic nail debridement. And as foot care professionals, what do we do each and every day? Nail debridement. callus debridement. That's why burring and the proper use of high-speed rotary files are so important. Efficiency in treating each patient and the standards you achieve in your work is heavily dependent on your burr capabilities. So if you only have a very limited variety of burrs, like a diamond and maybe a carbide, you can still provide treatment, but you won't be able to achieve maximum precise results. And that includes thorough mycotic debridement. Once you have a larger selection of burrs and knowledge about how to apply those burrs, the possibilities are endless. I use around 30 to 50 different kinds of burrs in my practice, but there are over 200 different kinds of burrs available, podiatry burrs available on the market. And to know how to use them and how to apply them interchangeably in the treatment of specific nail pathologies is very important. So I've been teaching on the burrs for almost a decade. And if you know me, you know that I'm very passionate about the burrs. And I just could never emphasize enough the importance of mechanical nail debridement, burring, in the treatment of onychomycosis. This slide has always been my most favorite slide because onychomycosis is what we deal with on an everyday basis. And this is groundbreaking because if we don't do mechanical nail debridement, burring correctly, we won't be able to successfully treat fungal infections. Why not? Because most topical antifungal solutions and creams that are applied to the nail simply do not work well because of the lack of penetration into the hard nail unit. We must debug the nail to allow better absorption, penetration into the hard nail unit. So studies have shown that thorough nail debridement in conjunction with topical antifungal solutions or other antifungal treatments like ToeFX will result in a 77% higher mycotic cure rate. I mean, how many times I have clients coming in for initial appointments with really thick mycotic nails, telling me that their family doctor have prescribed a topical antifungal or they had other antifungal treatments that they have been applying for months or years with absolutely no improvement. And the reason for that in most cases, that the first initial step was missed. The nail was never debrided or not debrided far enough. So debridement of the fungal nail comes first, then the antifungal treatment. And we also follow up with regular routine fungal nail debridement. So we know that thorough nail debridement, fungal nail debridement in treating onychomycosis is essential. Why is it important other than improving the cosmetic appearance of the nail? Fungal nail debridement will prevent the spread of infection, ulceration, will prevent pain, nail detachment, and nail loss. Many times we don't know what we find under mycotic nails, so we need to debride the nail to uncover. Just to mention an example, I had a client come in 2 weeks ago on a Monday in a retirement home. Now, I have not seen this client for 6 months, and I started to debride the mycotic nail, and for sure, the fungus has spread into the deeper layers of the toenail and started to cause an ulceration under the nail. So we cut it just in time. But regular mycotic debridement is very important in order to avoid more serious complications. So how do we debride mycotic nails? And I also teach the techniques and important key factors for mycotic nail debridement in my courses. So let me show you a quick video that I have taken out from the level 2 training course. Here I'm debriding a mycotic thick toenail with the extra coarse carbide. Just to give you an example, thorough nail debridement doesn't have to take long. With the right burr and good skills, you can reduce mycotic nails safely and quickly. This is an advanced burr, and it's for those who are more experienced because this is an extra coarse carbide. The coarser the burr is, the more attention and control you need in order to safely sand the nail down. And next, I would like to show you a couple of onychomycotic cases. Here we see nails with superficial onychomycosis, and these are before and after treatment photos. The nails are not thick, and the best burr for treating this is a fine carbide burr. You can also use fine or medium diamonds, like the cone medium diamond, but nothing coarser than that. Nothing coarser than that. If you have taken the level 2 course, you know that I'm not really recommending the lamellus burrs because they have more like a fine saw effect. You don't want to overfile the nail. That is the key here, to remove the superficial onychomycosis without overfiling the nail. Now, if you feel that you need to apply more pressure down when filing in order to remove the discoloration, stop. White superficial onychomycosis should be easy to file away. If not, we have to leave it. It means that the fungal infection is in the deeper layers, so not superficial. We can't risk overfiling the nail. And removing white superficial onychomycosis is really the most satisfying because in many cases, you can remove the discoloration in just one sitting. So in the eyes of the client, you are a true miracle worker. We want to be miracle workers. We enjoy what we do. And this is distal subungual onychomycosis. DSO is the most common type of fungal infection of the toenail. Just to show you how far I debride the nail, this toenail literally started to break, crumble during debridement, and I decided to debride it all. How far can you send it down? You can send it all the way down to the nail bed. The nail bed is usually already thickened from the pressure. There is most likely no sensitivity, and the nail will start growing back. Of course, every situation is different, and to know how much to debride comes with experience. I always consult with the client just to make sure that they understand the benefits, the pros and the cons of the outcome. I let them know that there won't be a nail for a while. You don't necessarily need to debride the nail this far. It's not always necessary. And you need to use your own judgment because every case scenario is different. I debrided this nail so far because the nail crumbled and was breaking down, and the entire nail was unhealthy. And this is just an example of a thorough mycotic debridement in preparation for additional fungal treatments like ToeFX. The burrs that I have up here are just a few very good options for debriding these nails. So what we have up here is the medium carbide, the medium coarse ceramic cone, and the large cone-shaped tie-in LSQ. These burrs are really good options for mycotic nail debridement. And then we have total dystrophic onychomycosis when the nail is completely damaged and crumbles away. This results in complete destruction of the nail plate. We see this with very weak immune system and multiple systemic diseases. Total dystrophic onychomycosis is used to describe end-stage nail disease. It is the most difficult stage to clear. And antifungal treatments at this stage most likely will not work. I recommend a medium coarse carbide or a ceramic or a tie-in for debriding total dystrophic onychomycosis. I don't recommend anything more aggressive because of the type of mycosis. And next, because I know I'm a visual learner myself, and my courses are also full of instructional, high definition videos. So even without the hands-on component, you can learn a lot from the up-close videos during the course. So I'm going to show you a short video. The full length of this video is presented in the level 1 training course, just for you to see how we can implement several bursts at a time to achieve better treatment outcome. So here I'm using a medium coarse ceramic cone burr to debride the large portion of the mycotic nail. We can also use a medium or a coarse carbide. And as you see, you can have so much fun with the burrs. I'm making a little cool hairdo here. Then once I achieve the required thickness of the nail, I will cut the nail with my nipper. Then I use, oops, sorry. Sorry, I think the video started again. So I'm using, sorry, started again. I'm using a medium coarse ceramic, making a little hairdo here. Next, I will cut the nail with my nipper. Then I use a smaller tie and burr here. It's a smaller, fine lemmaless burr. With this burr, I can get closer to the lateral nail folds and the proximal nail folds. And since this burr, due to its special coating, does not heat up, I can get closer to the skin in the nail folds without risking heat generation. Then I use the carbide ball to file the hyperkeratosis and remove the mycotic particles from the nail folds and from the nail edges. It has a small head and it's extremely efficient in removing localized mycosis. And if we want, we can also use a diamond burr at the end just to make the nail smooth all around, to file and smooth the nail and nail edges and the surrounding dry skin. And let me show you another example of mycotic nail debridement. This is a before and after picture. How do we prepare, debride the mycotic nail prior to antifungal treatments? I remove as much of the fungal particles as possible. And I also see the client every 6 weeks for routine mycotic nail debridement. And if you are using ToeFX, you will do some mycotic debridement every time the client comes in for treatment. And when choosing the right burr for mycotic nail debridement, we need to consider the following, just to give you some examples. Are we treating a thick mycotic nail? We are going to use a carbide or a ceramic. Now, if you have taken the level 2 course, you know that the carbides are available in different coarseness, and you can learn to differentiate between them and learn to apply them safely and quickly to debride a mycotic thick nail. Superficial onychomycosis. We know that there are certain burrs that should be used for removing superficial onychomycosis, as we discussed earlier, like a fine carbide or a medium diamond. And on this picture, if you look at the picture on the right, you see localized mycosis. And I'm using a carbide ball to remove it. There's also so much more to learn on this, on how to apply this burr safely and at what speed to use, and you can learn the techniques. And for smoothing, designing micotic nails. I don't know if I can see the chat, but I'd like to ask you a question. Can anyone tell me what burr to use for this? I'm looking for specific burr, a name of a burr family. You can type it in the Q&A. And while you're typing it in the chat, let me say that you can also use a medium diamond or a fine carbide for designing, smoothing micotic nails. And I'm still looking for the specific name of a burr family that we can use, and it is the best to be used for designing micotic toenails. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in the chat yet in the Q&A. Oh, okay. Medium diamond. What about the burr that came with the kit? I don't think that burr came with the kit, Barb. Carbide, it's getting close. Getting close. I'm gonna wait one more second. Your shape, yeah. Yes, that's, oh, I've got a few more, hold on. LSQ carbide, ceramic, LSQ. Okay, I'm gonna wait one more second. Okay, I might have missed it, so I'm gonna say it's at the NEN, the NEN burr. Thank you for all your answers. Good, you all had some really good tries. Great. So, and soon I'm going to close here. But before I do, I wanted to share a little bit about my training courses. In my training courses, I teach about a large variety of burrs and how to use the burrs in the different nail pathologies to treat ingrown toenails, micotic nails, calluses, corns. Everything I teach in the level 1 course building up to the end of the level 2 training course comes together in the ASB technique. When you work with the ASB technique, it means that you have a good knowledge and understanding on how to apply a very large variety of burrs interchangeably to achieve maximum treatment outcome. The Art and Science of Burring courses provide a certificate. Why would you want to get a certificate in burring? May I mention liability? Did your foot care training provide enough training on the use of advanced podiatry burrs and high-speed vacuum drills? If not, most foot care trainings do not provide extensive training in this area. If you are not confident or you don't have enough knowledge in using burrs, including carbides and critical burrs and high-speed rotary files, you can injure clients. And the difference between the level 1 training and the level 2 training, since some people asked, the level 1 training includes more theory on the correct use of burrs and high-speed rotary file. We talk about a few burrs in general and differentiate between the diamonds and carbides. We talk about sterilization, sterilizing burrs, and safe practices, also go through a few nail pathologies and how to treat those with selected burrs. But the level 2 online course is all about the burrs. And I had a few people who said after taking the level 1 training that they want to see even more burrs. So I developed the level 2 course that includes everything. Right from the start, we jump into the burrs, and it's all about the large variety and different burrs, burr families and shapes and sizes, and how to use them interchangeably. Burrs come in different shapes, grids, and sizes for a reason. You can correct and treat ingrown toenails with specific burrs. You can remove localized mycosis and deep-set corns entirely with critical burrs. So there is much to be learned when it comes to debridement. And I'm very passionate about the burrs and the high-speed rotary file. So thank you for your interest. And if you have any question, please email me. The link for the online training website is listed here. I also encourage you to follow me on social media. And again, if you're interested in taking online courses or have any questions, please stay logged in at the end of this webinar. I will stay behind and I will give you a quick tour into my online training platform. And having reviewed debridement techniques, I will now transition to Jennifer Winter, who is the owner and CEO of Pedicare Professional Foot Care Instruments. Thank you.
Thank you, Krisztine. That was great. There's such a depth of knowledge amongst the presenters here. I think that each of us, Irit and Krisztine in particular, could probably do a 3 or 4 hour webinar easily. So it's great to have this condensed version and share the basics and go into a bit of depth about how beneficial debridement is to the outcomes of fungal nail treatment. So some of the questions that have come up relate specifically to some of the products. So what I'm going to do now is transition into a bit more of a product side, with Irit having gone into more of the science of how the fungal nail treatments work, Krisztine focusing more on the debridement. I'm going to focus more on the tools and answer some of those questions with the tail end of this webinar. And then as Krisztine said, she's going to stay behind and give a demo of her live training, her online training platform. So do stick around for that if you're interested in that. And then also we'll do a Q&A once I've completed my presentation here. So Aviv has been doing a great job, and we've all been sort of chiming in on the chat and the Q&A and answering questions, but there might be a few others that we'll dive into when we get to the end here. So as I said, I'm going to do a product overview and just talk about some of the purchasing options for the equipment. These are often the types of questions that we'll get after a webinar. So to start off with, the RIT had focused on the ToeFX system, being the co-founder of the system. We thought we would spend some time talking about a couple of the packages that are available for anyone who's interested. I do believe we have some webinar attendees tonight who already have the ToeFX system active in their practice, so that's amazing. And so this will just give a little bit more information as to what's included with a ToeFX package. So there's 2 different packages that are available, and I'm so excited to announce that Pedicare is an authorized distributor for the ToeFX package. So we will have the lights and the serum in stock at all times for anyone who's interested in purchasing. What we've designed are 2 different packages. So in collaboration with ToeFX, designed these packages for different sizes of practices. So the first one is the practitioner package. And what's included in that, that's for someone who has a smaller practice. It comes with 2 of the lights, the photodynamic lights, and then you have the serum that comes with it as well. And so as Irit had mentioned in her presentation, the single-use pen applicator is what is used each time you have a client that comes in for treatment. So with that practitioner package, you're getting the 2 lights and you're getting 2 10 packs of the serum. And then we are also including 2 free rototool burrs, because how can we not? After a discussion of how valuable debridement is, it's so important that you incorporate that step into the treatment with ToeFX. So that's the practitioner package there. And then for a larger clinic where there might be obviously a higher volume of clients being seen, we do have the clinic package. That also comes with the 2 ToeFX lights and then 10 packs of the serum packs. And so that gives you 100 applicators in total. And so one thing we didn't get as much into, because Irit and I actually did record a separate webinar about a month or so ago, and it's about half an hour in length, and it gets deeper into the application of ToeFX and answering a lot of the most commonly asked questions. So that's something we can share a link with you as well, so that you can go in and watch that presentation if you want to get more detail about how to actually incorporate ToeFX into your practice. So this actually is the new design for the ToeFX light. So this is brand spanking new, just recently launched, and has a beautiful black finish with the white design on the side. So same function, just new look. So this is the ToeFX light that we will be carrying at Pedicare. And then getting into the burrs, as Krisztine mentioned, there is such a wide array of burrs available. It can seem overwhelming at first. So it really is important to get a grasp on the different types of burrs, have an understanding of what options are available, and then how to use them. So definitely training with Krisztine through the Art and Science of Burring will give people a depth of knowledge to have a better understanding of what burrs to use when, and the techniques for using those burrs. Because as you'll see, as I flip into, this is our Rototool brochure that I'm showing here right now. As we flip into this brochure, I will show you this screen. There's so many burrs, and this is just a small offering of what there is. This is the core offering that we stock at Pedicare, but then we have access to the full line of burrs that are German manufactured. So this is a lot, and there's even more available. So going back, I think, Krisztine, did you have a comment there as well? Oh, no, I don't think so.
Oh no, I was just cheering. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Absolutely. There's a lot of varieties. So the more we know, the more you learn, the more you know how to apply the burrs. So the beauty of the burrs and things to keep in mind as you're purchasing burrs is the burrs that we offer through Rototool at Pedicare are German manufactured burrs manufactured by Accurata. The precision manufactured, so they're of a high quality. So for example, the carbide burrs, they will last for longer because of the way that they're manufactured. Same with the diamond burrs. The diamond coating will last for longer because it's a high level of manufacturing quality. There's a wide selection, as we just talked about, and I'll get into a little more depth in my slides to come. And then we carry a large inventory and selection. So no matter what you're looking for, we will always have a burr in stock for you. And then these burrs are also all autoclavable, which is of course very important. So in terms of the reprocessing side, all of these burrs can be autoclave reprocessed. As an aside, if you are a practice that is working with single-use instruments, we do have the SUSO single-use line of diamond burrs. Obviously not going to give you the same robust offering as the reusable selection, but if you are using single-use, there is an option for you to debride. So as I said, there's a lot of detail in here. I won't get into the specifics on this slide, but just to give you an idea of what is available. And then I'm going to dive in a little bit very briefly into the different types of burrs, and Krisztine touched on this as well, but just to kind of break it down into the different types that are available, starting off with the diamond burrs. So the diamond burrs primarily used, as Krisztine had said, use them to reduce callus, to clean nail debris, smooth nails, to clean the nail folds. They come in different coarsenesses, so you have everything from typically medium through to extra coarse. There are some fine diamonds available as well, but for the most part, we're stocking medium coarse and extra coarse in the diamond coated burrs. They are diamond coated and they have a lot of friction. So of the burrs, they're going to generate more heat than some of the other burrs that I'm going to talk about. So keeping that in mind, having to lift frequently to make sure that you're not generating too much heat as you're working, and certainly not a burr you want to use if you're reducing a really thick nail, because you are going to generate so much heat. And so as Krisztine discussed, there are certain types of burrs for certain types of work, and it's important to know the difference. As mentioned, these are available in a wide variety of shapes and sizes. And the way we distinguish the coarseness is by this little stripe on the shaft of the burr. So most of these pictured here are coarse burrs. The green indicates coarse. And if there's no stripe or a silver stripe, that's the medium. And then black is extra coarse. And then getting into the carbide burrs, these are sort of the workhorse of the burrs, used very frequently. They offer a quick and efficient nail debridement or removal of thick callus. And the carbide burrs are machined. And so it's not a coating that's applied like the diamond burrs. These burrs are machined. And so they last longer. They have higher durability than the diamond burrs. Also, as you can see from this picture, available in a wide selection of shapes and sizes. And again, these 5 burrs do not represent what is available in carbides. There are many, many, many more options. These do feature some of the most popular, though. This one here in particular, this is the 515 shape. It's very, we went ahead one, too many slides. It's offered in a variety of different styles and grits. And then similarly, this is a very popular burr here as well. So most of these burrs are available in fine, medium, and coarse and extra coarse. And again, that is indicated by the band on the burr. We then get into specialty burrs. And I think this is something with Krisztine in her courses would be covered more in the level 2, I would think, the specialty burrs. A popular option is the LSQ. It offers a more aggressive cut with the lamella toothing and used to quickly and efficiently reduce thick nails. Krisztine did show some videos with the Tyane coating on the burrs, and this is an important feature. It does reduce the heat generation. That coating does reduce the heat generation, so that is definitely beneficial when you're reducing thick nails. It doesn't eliminate it altogether, but it does reduce the heat that is generated. One of the most popular burrs of the whole line is this LSQ Tyane. We sell a lot of those, but within this LSQ line, all of the shapes and sizes are quite popular. And this specific type is shown with the purple and the blue stripe. So anything you see with the purple and the blue, that indicates that it's an LSQ cut. And then getting into a couple other specialties, a really popular option is the NEM burrs or double yellow. I hear a number of different names used to describe these ones. So NEM, double yellow, double stripe. I've heard a few other ways of describing them as well. And so that's these 4 burrs here. And again, there are other options. And the beauty of the NEM, what it provides is the efficiency of a carbide, the durability of a carbide, but gives you more of the smooth finish of a diamond burr. So you kind of get the best of both worlds with the NEM burr, which is what makes them so popular. The LGQ, on the other hand, is an aggressive burr. It is meant for thick, challenging nails. It's not a burr you're going to use all the time. It's going to be for special indications. For example, this burr right here, the 510 LGQ, that is a saw burr that's going to be used to saw very long curved nails before you do the rest of your treatment. So some of these are quite specialized. And as I said, the LGQ is the more aggressive cut. And that's indicated by the green and the black stripe. Any green and black burrs are LGQ. And then we get into the ball burrs, which you saw Krisztine show in some of the videos that she presented. And this is a very versatile burr. Again, a variety of ball sizes available and also offered in diamond and carbide versions. Certainly initially, it might be wise to start with a diamond version of the burrs and then work your way into the carbides as you get more comfortable working with them. They are excellent for removing seed corns. And as you saw in Krisztine's video, also cleaning out nail folds and debris removal. They are an advanced burr and should be used with caution to avoid damage. And because the ball size is so small, one thing that I don't know if it gets emphasized enough, but when it comes to the speed you're working with, and certainly Krisztine would go into more depth in her courses, the smaller the head of the burr, the higher RPM speed you can go. As your burr head size increases, the speed you're working with will decrease, especially if you're working with very large diamond burrs that are for callus removal, then you're going to be working at a lower RPM speed. And last but not least are the ceramics. They are newer, have not been used in the market as long, but are becoming very popular. And the main feature with the ceramics is it's low to no heat generation. So whereas with the Tyane coating, you're getting a reduction in heat generation, the ceramic burrs really offer you a low to no heat generation option. So that provides a great option when you're reducing thick nails to avoid generating some of that heat. Well suited for diabetic clients who may not be able to detect that heat and tell you that they feel the heat being generated. But of course, they are ceramic. So extra care is needed to make sure that they are not dropped because the head of the burr is ceramic, it can shatter. So they do need a little extra TLC during the reprocessing and or removing them and inserting them into the handpiece to make sure they don't get knocked and banged. So it's very important to inspect your burrs on a regular basis to make sure they don't have any nicks or or damage to them before you work with them. These ones also, if you're working with the OmniFix system, the nail correction system, they're excellent for smoothing the composite. So once the composite is applied and it's cured, the ceramic burrs can be used to shape that composite and provide a smooth finish. So getting a bit into the vacuum units, I won't deep dive into this, but just give a little bit of information. So Pedicare is the manufacturer for the Rototool Essential and Rototool Deluxe units, formerly known as the Valoria and Aurora. So we are the manufacturer and importer of these units in North America. And they provide a professional quality unit with high suction rates, low vibration handpiece, and quiet suction motor. And of course, providing you with the protection and your clients against the airborne dust pathogens. The units, we do have a biomed team that can service these units in Canada. So in Oshawa, that's where our service center is based. So all units in North America are sent to our Oshawa service center, and we have a team of biomed techs there who know these units inside and out. So down to the smallest nut and bolt, all the way through to replacing circuit boards, handpiece motors, they can repair these units completely. And then also there are leasing options available if anyone is interested in that. So to give an overview of pricing on these quickly, the Essential unit, which is previously known as the Valoria, and the predecessor to that was the Helios 40. There's been a few iterations of this unit. So the Rototool Essential is $33.50 plus tax. The Deluxe, which gives you 3 additional features. You get the LED light in the handpiece, which is essential to provide that task lighting as you're working. There are 3 memory settings that can be preset for the unit. And then you have a smart button on the handpiece that allows you to control turning the unit on and off, as well as cycling through the memory settings. And that unit is $38.50 plus tax. So to give an idea for leasing, that works out to about $110 a month on a lease. So certainly within most practices, something that's manageable to provide that safety benefit to you. So provide that protection against airborne dust for you and your clients. Something else that has come up more often on the leasing side is bundling of equipment. So I did want to just put this slide in here to give an idea of what that could look like. So on the left-hand side, we have the ToeFX system. And with leasing, you can only lease equipment. You can't lease consumables. And so burrs are consumables. The applicator serum is a consumable, but you can lease equipment like the lights, the MBOS autoclave, which is the newest autoclave on the market, and then the rotary tools, the vacuum rotary tools. So if you were to do a bundle of all 3 of these, your ToeFX light, an autoclave, and a vacuum unit, you'd be looking at about $300 a month on approved credit. You could, of course, bundle less than that. You could bundle the vacuum unit and ToeFX, or an autoclave and the vacuum unit. You could configure it however you would like, but just letting you know that there are options, because it can be obviously a significant cost to get into working with some of these pieces of equipment, but are so essential to providing a broad and deep standard of care for your clients. And what we do as well is we do offer a $200 Rototool burr credit when a leasing package is taken. So that concludes my part of the presentation. And what we wanted to do was to open this up to questions. Certainly, if you have any questions about products and pricing, please feel free to reach out to me. If you're looking for if you have questions about the burr training, then reach out to Krisztine directly. If you have questions about ToeFX, you can reach out to Irit and the team at ToeFX. There will be a follow-up email that comes out that has contact information, as well as other resources that we can share, or you can reach out to us directly with any questions that you might have about the products and or techniques that have been reviewed during tonight's webinar. And we're so grateful for everyone to take the time to come out. It's amazing to get this many people together and share the knowledge that we have collectively and start this discussion with everyone. And we hope that we can run some other future sessions to talk about other topics or dive deeper into this one, and just make the knowledge available to everyone that's looking for it. So what we're going to do, we will wrap up the webinar for tonight. Thank you again for coming. Thank you to Irit for sharing her knowledge and Krisztine for sharing her expertise as well. And we look forward to seeing you all again. Anyone who's looking to to stay on and see the online platform demo with Krisztine, please do stick around, and Krisztine will walk you through that. And then otherwise, we wish you all a wonderful evening, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.